Why I love this podcast is because it's one thing to experience culture, but it's another thing to archive it. We need the stories to be told.
Our priorities say a lot about where our headspace is at.
I really think it's about relationships.
The only thing stopping anybody from getting what they want is themselves. You just don't want it bad enough.
Make some noise one time for the violence partner quality creative Ambiance. Check. What's good, everybody? What's good, creatives? Damn. Man. So I go by the name of Eli Osborne. I'm the host and founder of Creative Ambiance. And, first I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for coming out. Truly does mean a lot. And I'm not going to lie, I've been a bit nervous to do this. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. So, yeah, I think that's okay, though. It's, that's what being a creative is all about. Feeling that uncomfortability and still deciding to move forward. Yeah, I think whether it's you even taking that first step in an idea that you're nervous about, starting that new business or brand that you've been thinking about, or even as simple as putting up a post on social media that you're nervous about posting for whatever reason, right? All of it is feelings that we all feel, so I'm no different from that. But when I think about what Creative Ambiance is, it's always been about cultivating raw conversations with creatives, entrepreneurs, and innovators that have been shaping a culture for quite some time now. So being able to get that energy into one room is a big deal and very special moment. And what also is very special is the fact that, when I started Creative Ambiance back in 2019, it was just an idea in my head and a piece of paper, right? And to see so many of you in the room that are past guests, supporters, listeners, new faces, familiar faces, it's a very special moment for me. So shout out to you guys all for making it out tonight. But we have packed nights tonight. I hope you all had a chance to connect with one another. And coming up next, we have a live podcast with a guest that is very credible, which I'm excited to announce soon. And after that, I hope you stick around for a live Q&A session and come correct with those questions that I'm on. Everybody is participating in that as well. With that said, there's nothing left to it but to do it. I want to invite our next guest to come on for the 100th episode of Creative Ambiance. Our next guest is a visionary director, a creator who has really redefined the visual style of social media storytelling. He's pioneered a cinematic approach that has since been widely replicated by brands and creators, but never quite up to par to the way that he does it. And he has a community of over 1 million followers across his socials, a thriving Discord channel of creatives, and his influence has led him to partnering with the likes of Adobe, Mercedes-Benz, Delta, and Meta, just to name a few. He is quite literally Henry Neutron. I'm gonna need you to clap loud for this one. Please welcome to the stage my good friend, Adrian Per. Check. Adrian, how you feeling, brother?
Good. I'm good.
You feeling good?
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you.
It's crazy because, you would do this just by ourselves, and if I mess up, it's all good. And now people are going to see how bad I really am at this stuff.
I don't think so, because every podcast we've had, it's just been so easy to talk to this guy, which says a lot about you. And for those of you who don't know, I've had Adrian on the podcast 3 different times before today. And I think every single time I've had him on has really highlighted a different stage of his life that he's been at. And I was joking with him off stage that every single time we've had a podcast, he's pulled up in a different whip. And it's very much so duplicative of his life. He pulled up in a Prius in 2021 for our first episode, or 2020 rather.
Something like that.
Yeah, 2020, 2021, he pulled up in a Tesla, different stage of his life then. And then third time he pulled up in a Jeep. But yeah, each one of those stages of your life, you've done nothing but elevate. I kind of think about that Tyler, the Creator interview where his career's done nothing but this. I feel like that's been the case for you too. So what do you attribute your success to over the course of especially the past 5 years?
Honestly, this is going to sound so cliche. And I'm going to pretend like nobody's here. Okay. This is just me to you conversation, right?
Yeah.
It sounds so corny, but literally not giving up. I had been making videos for 13 years when I first bought my camera before anybody even noticed on social media, you know? So it's like, I just attribute it to the resilience. Like,
Okay.
I loved doing it prior to the explosive social media growth. Like, I think it's just a combination of being aware enough to know where you need improvement, knowing what parts you love, knowing what parts you don't really enjoy, and just like, I don't think you need to spend that much time trying to improve what you're not good at
Okay.
and like double down on what you're really good at. So I think that's really what it came down to. Like, I knew that a style of video, which came from my limitations, which is I knew I wasn't that good at this, and this in video making. I doubled down on that. Like, I'm not trying to be a creative or a director that I know, even if I tried my hardest, I would be like a diet version of them.
I see what you mean.
So I think a lot of what, you know, the momentum that I've gained is just like, I improved on what I already enjoyed, and I really just took a bet on that. I mean, it all could have, in hindsight, I could say that because it worked out, but like, it also couldn't have, right? I couldn't have had the humility or like I guess, a self-awareness to know maybe the thing that I was doubling down on wasn't good.
Right.
But it just so happened, like, it literally just so happened when putting up 1 million shots, one of them finally was noticed by somebody out there.
Because you took those 1 million shots before you started popping off.
Yeah.
Right.
That most people don't know that, like, I was doing this as a professional videographer or cinematographer, as a director. Like, people didn't see the first 13 years. Like, I first started posting on social media, I think 2011, 2012, something like that. I had tried so many different variations of self-expression and personal content and, you know, trying to figure out what my voice is as a creative. And it just so happens, because I never gave up on this is what I truly enjoy, it worked out. I think there were a lot of moments where, it's not even I think there were a lot of moments. There were a lot of moments where I was tested and I had to go get jobs and, like we talked about before, like deliver food. I had a crazy moment today. Something like momentous happened today.
What?
Like, a thing happened that I don't even know if we should put this in the pod, but just between you,
Ask you now.
I don't think, just like between you and I, right? Like, you know, when I first hopped on the pod, I was driving a Prius, and then I remember I had that Prius from when I lived in the Bay to, I think, like 2021 over here, and I had this deposit hit.
Okay.
I had this deposit hit, and I saw this deposit in my bank account, and it felt crazy because it reminded me of all the shit I'd been through to get to this point. And there were so many times where I could have given up and settled for less.
Okay.
And it reminded me of when I was delivering food in my Prius as a 28-year-old who had finally moved out of their parents' house. Like, I told my dad, like, give me 3 years, I'll figure it out. And by then, like, I'll be 31, so I better have figured it out. And I think a huge part of that is just, I stuck it through.
Yeah.
I think there were so many moments where, like, I did apply for jobs, and I'm so glad that nobody called me back.
The blessing in disguise at the moment.
Yeah, it just made me think about that today.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, like, I tallied up, you know, I was using a shitty invoicing program in 2018, but what I made from being a freelance director and videographer and editor and colorist and coffee runner, light plugging inner, everything, all those jobs combined, it didn't amount to the deposit that I see today. And I was like, yo, this is nuts. I can't believe I almost gave this up.
For years, too.
Yeah. This is like, I think year 7 in LA.
I think you told a story on one of the previous pods that there was a time when you were DJing in San Francisco when you were like a pretty lit DJ.
Yeah.
And you went from headlining a show to putting on the Uber after.
Yeah.
And then you picked up somebody who was at the show and was like, hold up, you're Adrian Per.
Yeah, I made my cool like $300 from DJing, and we had it lit. We had the house packed out, and I turned on my Uber app and I picked somebody up who bought a ticket to our show, and they're like, "Aren't you? There's no way you're actually." I'm like, "Yeah."
Well, I think
Yeah,
that's important for people to hear because I feel like we're all put in those situations, and I think it's easy for somebody to see the place you're at now and the success that you have and not realize all the stuff that happened before to get you to this place, right?
For sure.
And I want to go back to something you said earlier where you said you trying to be somebody else is just you becoming a watered down version of that person. And I really like that you said that because when you're trying to like copy somebody else, you're never going to be them.
Absolutely.
You're always just going to be like a lesser version of them. So why not be the best version of yourself?
Yeah,
know
I
what I
tell
mean?
people all the time, like, don't try to be me. Don't try to be anybody else like you might look up to. And I think it's good to be inspired by somebody else's creative and have it inspire your creative expression, but don't let it dictate or define your identity, because you're just going to end up as a diet version of that. Or if the person dies, I guess it's all the other option, you carry on what they do. I don't understand like the 100 million different versions of Basquiat and like Banksy. I don't get it. Like, why would you want to, like, why would you fight for their piece of the pie that they've already established when you could literally make your own piece of the pie?
Yeah. And I feel like that's even more prevalent in today's society with social media being what it is today.
For sure.
There's so many copies of people doing the same thing. I mean, there's so many brands, like I said earlier, and creators that are just doing what you do in different formats,
I'm flattered by it though.
Yeah.
In order for me to have got into my style, it was many years of trying out and experimenting and being inspired by other people I looked up to, whether it's Wes Anderson, Quentin Tarantino. I say this all the time, like the big yellow text, that's a Quentin Tarantino thing.
Yeah.
And I can't even take credit. Like, sure, I might have popularized it in a certain niche of social media, but I say it all the time, like, it's not from me. And one thing that I can own is my perspective and like the way I express whatever topic I'm talking about. I'm really flattered that people have taken the things that I've taught on the internet, because I want to teach people, right? I want to teach people, how do you use a certain focal length or a certain shot or this tool to help tell your story better. If it takes them copying it without quite understanding it yet to find their voice, that's cool with me. There was this really cool quote that I saw. There was this thread on LinkedIn. This guy, it was a thread about people who were copying and whatnot. And somebody quoted like, so we were talking about this thing, we were building this Nike thing, and I asked the guy, when do you think an idea is considered successful? And it's when, and the guy responded, it's when the idea becomes part of culture and it supersedes the person who created it, and when you can't find the source. And I think it's a lot cooler to have brought something into this world where a lot of people don't know that the inception of that was 2023 on my page. Like,
it's crazy to be at that level. Like, not very many people can know what that feels like. You know what I mean?
It's
Or
I
relate
think
to it.
it's the artist's ego's ultimate goal. I don't think that's something that money can buy. There's so many people who are in the business to just sell something or sell their art or get brand deals or whatever it may be. But shifting culture, like leaving something that supersedes you, like that's not something I could buy. That's not something that you can pay PR to shove in people's faces. You can't industry plant something that moves the needle that much. And it's cool. Like I'm flattered by it, honestly.
Yeah, I love to see it. I'm sure a lot of people can say the same thing that are watching your journey. And I also love the fact that you're like kind of paying homage to, you know, people like Quentin Tarantino, who's creating this style that people don't even realize that you're, you know, referencing when you're doing your art and your creation for content. So I love to hear that part of it. And I know that you said that not quitting is a big attribute to getting to where you are today. I'm curious, what's the difference about your mindset now versus the previous years that maybe you've been on the podcast before? Like, has your mindset shifted? And if so, how's that evolved?
Back then, I felt like I really had something to prove because I hadn't gotten to a place of stability, and my work ethic and how outspoken I was about getting to that reflected. Whereas now I'm working just as hard, and I don't want to say I have nothing to prove yet, but I was younger. I was surviving. I was figuring out my place in the world, and I still am.
Yeah.
But I've just gotten so much more comfortable with understanding my voice. I mean, I just turned 35 a couple weeks ago. Man, I'm pushing 40. I'm closer to 40 than I am 30. And by the time you hit 30, you're already an unk.
You really are. I've reached unk status myself, though.
Yeah,
Philly.
Yo, that's crazy.
Got gray in the beard. That's why I don't grow it out all the time.
Bro, I got homies who are balding.
Man,
Like, not bald by choice, but balding.
the receding hairline. You might catch me in Turkey, like, sometimes.
I'm trying to go there too, man, when I need to.
Hey, you're doing well. You could just do it.
But the mentality is the same. I enjoy this so much that I don't even realize I'll be putting in 40 to 50 hours a week sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like I have less to prove to myself now. No, actually, I take that back. I do have a lot to prove to myself, but because I was thrown into Hollywood type LA with the kind of work that I was doing, I wanted people to know that I was working hard, which was whether it was buying a watch or buying a car or whatever it may be. But I've just become so much more secure in the things that actually make me happy versus like things that I thought would make me happy, which is external validation, which is not looking, it's not looking successful in front of your peers. It's looking successful in front of people that you don't know. And that mattered a lot to me back then. I had shit to prove. So I don't think it's changed much. It's just I got cool with, if I fail, I fail. If I succeed, I succeed. I treat my wins like my losses, which it's just part of the journey.
Yeah, it sounds like a peaceful state to be in, to not care about all those outside factors.
Yeah.
I'm curious too, have you had to change how you set boundaries with people being at the level that you're at now? And the reason why I say that is because I feel like you only have so much time of the day, and I want to get into time management because I know that's something that you're very skilled at. But do you have to set a certain level of boundaries with people in order to protect your time it takes to create the art that you create?
Not to create the art that I create, but just for my own mental well-being.
Okay.
If said person didn't hit me up when I was grieving, right? Or, I mean, I know everybody's going through the same, their same thing, right?
Yeah.
I have a core group of friends, and that hasn't changed in a long time. People who I could call my brothers or sisters, like whatever label I may give it. That hasn't changed and that won't change. And those are the people that I hold close to me. I think I can have other acquaintances that we're friends, but we're not like friends.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So the way I look at it, just for my own time management and mental health, if you weren't there telling me condolences when needed be, but you want to say, congrats, my brother, can I take you out for a coffee to pick your brain after all this, growth had happened?
Yeah.
Respectfully, nah. And that's not because I want to be a dick, but it's like, what's that Rick Ross saying? You wasn't with me shooting in the tent.
Yeah.
So
That's a fact. I feel like
don't-
also, sorry to cut you off, but at this level you're at now, you receive more of that because people want more from you. Would you say that's true?
Yeah. I can't even tell you how many times I get the I want to pick your brain a day. It's cool and I appreciate it and I respect it, but I put out so much free game on the internet. There's nothing more that I could tell you in this conversation than what I've already put out on the internet. And I don't want to be popular. I don't want to be fucking famous. I've worked with people who have fame and popularity. Like, I see how they've been bombarded. I see them getting caught on an off day. I don't want none of that. Like, I just want to chill with my homies and make fun videos. Like, I was thrown into this super fast and I've been taken advantage of. And like, you know, I've had slick marketers trying to get me to do something, or, you know, photos and videos used improperly. So like, I have been protective, but like I've also been, my kindness and openness to that has been mishandled and taken advantage of. So I'm not jaded, but just I know what it comes with. So it's not that the door isn't open for new friends. It's just I've had my homies since before this, and that really doesn't need a change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same circle. Why would you change it up if it's,
Yeah.
you know, so solid? And you mentioned something about the volume of content that you put out. I think I have something in here that in August alone, you have filmed 62 pieces of content in just 1 month in August.
Oh, wow.
So
It was actually more than that.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
even more than that. So how are you able to push out such a high volume of content? What's your process like, whether it's time management or whether it's just you figuring out how to do this at such a high level?
I spend most of my time in pre-production, writing, and figuring out different ways to repurpose one video. Like, I do a lot of recutting, restructuring, and I'm actually putting together. It is a shameless plug for whenever this goes up online. I'm actually putting together a free workshop in a little over a month from now, like the exact one-to-one system that I use on how to get, you know, one content filming day can yield you like 10 pieces of content. It's a long, like, I could get really into how I do that, but the long answer, well, the short version of the long answer. What do people say? What is it saying?
Short story long.
Long story short.
Yeah.
Long story short. Long story short is just building good systems for efficiency that work for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll work for everybody, but at the very least, I could teach people how I do it. And it's just writing. Writing is a backbone of everything. It's a backbone of so many different mediums: movies, short films, commercials, music. You spend time there making it good, like executing it. It's easy.
Right.
So I meticulously shot list, write, time block, so that when it's time to shoot, I know how it's going to look in the edit. I know how me or an editor is going to receive it. I know exactly what song is going to be used. I can hand you a video, or anybody who maybe doesn't even understand fully like the nuances and the expertise of video editing. If I handed them my script that has a shot list and the footage and the song, there's no way they can mess that up.
Because you just got to execute it at
Yeah,
that point.
it's literally like, it's like playing a video game with like the FAQ notebook.
I got you.
Dang, I'm old. You know, like
It's like
playing a video game with cheat codes, for real.
Got you.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you have a formula down, right? A certain formula that you've developed over time. Was there a certain point in time where you realized that you had that formula down? And if so, when was it?
This was before I was making content. So It was just, so back when I was full-time directing, I had always written my shots to how I wanted it to be edited. It's funny, like Chaz is here, who's edited so many of my videos.
Shout out Chaz.
As a director prior to me making content. Like, we knew in a lot of these videos, and it would be mapped out literally to the second of this scene happens here, this scene happens here, this scene happens here, this scene happens here. So I had been doing that since probably 2013, 2012.
Oh, wow.
I started working, yeah.
So what is it that's changed?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nah.
Okay.
Nothing changed.
You've been making things the same way.
Yeah, and that comes from limitations, like I had mentioned earlier. Like, there were so many other directors who were doing so many things that I couldn't do and that I looked up to. And it goes back to, why should I try to be the diet version of them?
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget this conversation with one of my really good friends, Sebastian. He's somewhere up there. He's one of our really good friends, director, RIP.
Mm.
He was he said, "Yo, man." So I referenced one of his videos in my videos, and I shouldn't be doing that as a homie. I made a scene look similar to his. He's like, "You ain't gotta be me, bro. Like, you just be you. You're so good with your voice, and like, you're from the city. You are Filipino. You have all this unique character baked within you. Be the best at."
Yeah.
Like, he would tell me all the time. Even my boy Zolly, who's right here, he's like, "What about these other directors that you like so much when you could just work hard at having your own unique voice?" So I just would be back at the drawing board. You know, I attribute so much of that as well to having homies who weren't scared to tell me and critique the things that I was making. I think that's important. I don't like having a friend group who's going to tell me everything that I'm doing is awesome, because it's not. That's not how you grow. Like, I have homies who tell me all the time, like, "Hey, bro, you might need to hit the gym, brother." And I need that. I need that. Because when I first met you, I think I was close to 300 pounds, and I still am not like at where I want to be. You know,
You've made a lot of progress since then.
Thank you. It's been a roller
Hey,
coaster.
we still got more to go though.
do.
I'm not being a yes man.
I do. You know, and health is important, and a thing that I say with a lot of my friends, it's do you want me to be your friend, or do you want me to lie to you?
Ooh, I love
So having that as well, to double down on, you know, when we talk creative, it's like, why are you trying to be this over here? And you'll never be as good as that guy you look up to, I promise you.
Right.
But you could be at the same level of artistic taste if you just really doubled, tripled down on what makes you unique, which was my limitations, which just so happens to be my limitations of what I couldn't do. So a lot of my videos, tripod, static, is not VFX heavy. I don't do crazy transitions. Things aren't that fast. And I never aspire to be like the people that I'm like, "Oh, wow, this is cool. Let me be inspired by it and put it into my own videos." Because that's not me. That's them. And because I had bet on that, and I'm comfortable with knowing what I'm good at and what I'm not good at, it's led me here. In the same way it's gotten so many of these great creatives like Virgil, like Pharrell. Like, there's so many people who use their limitations as their superpower to make them unique.
I'm curious, based off of that, how does somebody decide between that they just need to keep going and they just need to be patient and not quit, like you're saying, versus you just realizing that this just isn't working, what I'm doing? Like, how do you toe that line?
Not quitting your job, not creating as a means to survival. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think in short,
Because there's so many people who think, or who approach this, yes, it is cool to be doing creative work as your full-time career, as your job. But like, let's be real. Let's just be so fucking for real. It might be like 1 or 2% of those people who dream about that get to that, who can actually do that.
yeah,
And you will never get to that if it's your means of survival. Because I've experienced that. Like, so many of my homies have experienced that, where now, because you are creating for money, you're creating as a means to put food on your plate, you're creating as a means to pay your bills, it affects your art. It really does, whether you people want to admit it or not. And to get to that level and to really be able to have creative freedom, you need your needs met, which is if you need to live with your parents, or if you need to have a job the entire time, on this creative journey.
I see what
There's
you mean.
nothing wrong with having a job.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. There's so much like entrepreneur porn out there. It's like, if you don't quit, you're not really meant for this life. I was like, bro, let's be real.
Yeah.
You're selling courses and telling people to sell courses. Like, that's not how to get to, there's no real sustainability in that.
And it gives the wrong idea to the audience and to people thinking that, you're living a lie, and they think that they're taking that into consideration and thinking that they're not shit because they're not doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know when this ideology of having a job was lame came about, because it's not.
I see what you mean, though. Like, having an outside outlet that supports you allows you to create more freely.
Yes.
Because you're not relying on serving an algorithm or some type of best practice. You can just straight up do what you want and create.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, man. I was doing so many things. I was doing so many odd jobs as I was expressing myself and doing this as a full-time creative. I didn't work desk jobs. I didn't work as a colorist. I didn't work as plugging in lights, man. And I just literally dropping off people in my Prius,
Yeah. Look at you now.
ride service driving.
You said a candy store and
I was working at a candy store. Yeah. I was a whole ass 22, 23-year-old working at a candy store. It's crazy.
you had to be munching on those candies. I know you did.
It looked like it.
I would have been. I know I would have been on some Napoleon Dynamite thing in the pocket.
No, for sure. It was my shit was chocolate almonds.
Chocolate almonds.
Yeah. So I just put it in my pocket. They wouldn't really notice. Yeah.
Did they ever melt? They ever melt when they're in there?
No. We were in the Bay, so it wasn't that hot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Carl the Fog.
Yeah.
All right. Well, going back to the volume piece on your content, how do you dictate what goes out versus what doesn't? Or do you just see what sticks?
I just put it out.
Okay.
I used to pre-2023 when I started putting out my content, because 2022 I think I might have posted like 11 times, right? If the music video or the commercial that I produced I didn't think was perfect, then I wouldn't post it. And then 2023 happened. I just decided like everything's going up.
Because you were posting every day.
Yeah.
You announced that. I remember in 2023.
Sometimes it was multiple times in a day. Like, I just wanted to figure out what worked, not just what worked audience and algorithm wise, but what worked in a sense of what I enjoyed. Which ones did I want to take a bet on? And through doing that, I found out what I actually enjoyed, which is so many pieces of content out there isn't perfect. I can look at every single one of my videos and find out what I would do better, where I can improve, where I messed up. But that's not what it's about. You make art as an expression of whatever it may be that you want to express. That's like the true definition of art, right? So I just put it up there. It's literally like my scrapbook, and I could just look back at it and see my progress. And it's crazy that people follow like my scrapbook.
Yeah. And not everything hits either, right? I want to make that point too, because it's not like everything you're putting out is going viral. Like, things are also not hitting too, right?
Yeah. And I feel detached. I treat my wins like my losses. If it gets 20 million views or it gets 20 views, it doesn't really affect me.
Yeah.
Because when I hit post, it's less about who sees it. It's less about the engagement. It's, hey, I tried to make something, or I came up with an idea and I put it out there. And that really is like what matters most, and before that, I was really critical of my art and the things that I'd make, which led me to slower growth. And I mean, it's the same thing. Like, you're not going to, get healthier if you,
Yeah.
if you're thinking about hopping on a treadmill, Like you can't be like, I don't feel like it today. You know, my ankle kind of hurts. You know what I mean? So I treated it the same way.
You just gotta take massive action. It sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. To speak more on your time management, I want to point this out because I think you put out a video on it, and I think it could help a lot of people. Helped me out was the way you time block your day, right? Like you have time scheduled for every component of your life, and you stay disciplined during those time blocks, right? So can you touch a little bit more about how that process is for you?
Yeah. It's actually crazy how simple it is. Most people are like, wow, it's so complex. Everything's like color coded and you have a slot for everything. It's structured but not rigid. I block out exactly when I'm going to wake up or go on a date or hang out with the homies and have dinner with friends, or I'm going to be filming for 4 hours. I'm going to be editing for 2 hours. I'm going to be writing for 4 hours. Like I can probably pull it up right here. Let's see.
Your calendar?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like it can make people go crazy when they see their day stacked up like that, but
No, it gives me peace. Because if I just had things on a whiteboard or like things on my notes app or just a list of things without the time, that's overwhelming.
yeah.
I was like, when was I supposed to go to that? Where's the address for this? So how do I look at this right here?
Yeah, I followed this structure to myself, and I started because I have a day job and I do this and, you know, my relationship and friends and everything. And it's hard to manage all of that unless you have a rigid schedule or just a way to not get too crazy.
So it's
on the schedule.
So because I'm a visual person, I color code everything. So this is just this week.
So every color is a different part of your life or a different subject.
Yes. So this one right here is marked as creative ambiance, and I had 2 meetings earlier. I had 2 writing sessions. I had edit revisions due, and without this, I'd be way less efficient.
Right. Because also things don't get done if you leave it up to feeling like I'm just going to do this when I feel like doing it versus you having a schedule like I'm going to do this at this time and it's like non-negotiable. Yeah, it sounds like, right?
It's just not efficient. You know, I think just because you are busy doesn't mean you are productive. Just because you're doing something doesn't mean you're doing anything, you know? And I noticed this in 2020. Yeah. Post-COVID, I was like, man, I really just be like lollygagging. I really just be editing whenever I want to. I think around mid 2021, I was like, I really need to tighten this ship up. I'm in my 30s and I wake up at 10 a.m. or maybe 12 p.m. I start editing whenever I feel like it. And then I'll go until 4 a.m. And that just wasn't it. So I tightened it up and I watched some videos about time blocking, and I forgot what book it was. It's this book that preaches about life by design. I really want to figure out what the name of the book is. Hold on.
Yeah, pull up the receipts. No, I think that's important to talk about too, because it's not so much as you just setting these time blocks. Like you really do have to stay disciplined.
Essentialism.
Okay.
Yeah. So I agree with what you said. But yes, Essentialism was the book, and it just taught me about what the most important things were. And even then, you still don't have enough time to get everything done.
Yeah.
You just have to prioritize what you're currently working on.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. How about avoiding creative burnout or just burnout in general? Because you have so much going on. How do you like steer yourself away from burnout?
Not having a purpose as to why you're making the thing you're making will burn you out. Or not having a true purpose that speaks true to your goal. And you have to be really honest about it. People get burnt out if they're chasing something that isn't really true to what they want out of what they're doing. I know a lot of creatives are making things as a means to an end for survival. You'll burn out that way. When I was making multiple pitch decks a week because I wanted to be a director working with bigger artists, because I believe that I deserve that opportunity, that's rooted in ego. That's rooted in, oh, my skill needs to, I have a skill that needs to be proven that I was good. That's a shitty purpose. But if you make things with a purpose of, I have this unique story that I do want to tell, I believe that I have a voice or something that, I don't want to say helps the world, but it's just a different perspective, and whether it does well or not, you know, it doesn't matter. And you make things from a true, genuine passion of making the thing, like, how can you burn out?
Yeah. Because you're not tied to the outcome.
Yeah.
You're tied to making it happen because you're passionate about it.
Yes. And once I switched up how I look at creating, I've had a harder time stopping than like, you know, it's harder for me to stop doing the thing I truly enjoy now that I found the true purpose and the voice than being burnt out. Like I rarely feel tired of doing the thing that I really enjoy because it's actually now rooted in intent and purpose and what I truly feel comfortable, like, as a representation of just what I want to make. When people and creatives don't understand what it is they truly want and they aren't honest with that goal, I think that's when burnout happens.
Got you.
I think. I mean, I know people, and I'm saying this I'm saying I think because this is just the people that I do know, and I don't know what it is for everybody else, but for the most part, like, that's just what it is. It's like, it's not a means to an end. It should be fun.
Yeah.
You don't go to the beach as like a means to an end, you know? You don't go ice skating, or you don't play with your dog as a means to an end. You can't burn out playing with your dog.
That's a good point. Yeah. If you're doing what you love, you're going to love doing it.
Yeah. But you just have to, like, you can't look at taking care of your dog as a chore. You can't look at your dog as like a gateway to, if you get a cute dog with the purpose of, hopefully this finds me a girlfriend, like, bruh, you're not really gonna love your dog, bro.
That's true.
You gotta, like, really actually want a dog. And I'm saying that because I know some people who've done that, and I'm like, you didn't even actually want to get a dog. That's why you don't enjoy taking care of your dog.
You just like it for the outside factors that it brings to you.
Oh my gosh, your dog's so cute. Can I pet it? Shit like that.
Shout out to Boba. Shout out to Boba. Yeah, one time. It's Shiba Inu, right?
Yeah, Shiba Inu.
Does that help keep you level headed too?
Yeah, I love that guy. Like 80% of my phone, my photo library is Boba.
Me too, man. Shout out to Coco.
I think I took like 10 photos of him just today. Yeah.
That little loaf of bread, right?
Yeah, it's a loaf of bread.
I love that. What about feeding other areas of your life, right? I know you talked about your time scheduling process and blocking things, but I know that you have a girlfriend and you have, you know, your friends, your family, and your own personal life. So, like, are you able to feed these other areas of your life, or do they suffer sometimes?
Transparently, some things take a hit. You know, I am in a pivotal moment in my life where my foot is on the gas and I don't plan on taking it off that. So things are gonna, you know, I don't get to cook as much. Transparently, I don't get to, you know, go to the gym as much. Transparently, I don't get to hang out with some of my best friends as much, which leads back to what you were saying earlier. Like, what's a discernment between protecting yourself and, you know, letting some people in? Yeah, I get all the time, like, am I a dick because I don't want to grab coffee with you? No, it's because I haven't seen one of my best friends in like 6 weeks. So the next free time that I get, why would I spend that with you, somebody that I don't know, versus with a person that I fucking love and have known for over 10 years?
That's a great point. Like, you giving that person that time is you taking away time from the people you love.
Yeah, so I have to be really mindful about the other things that are lacking, but that's just life, you know? And because I'm closer to 40 now than 30, I need like 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I used to not have to sleep that much. I used to be like, yo, I hate that I have to sleep. It's like, bro, I love sleep. I love sleep. Yeah. I used to think that, wow, that Keisha Cole song popped in my head. I used to think that I wasn't fine enough.
Intrusive thoughts.
Yeah. ADHD right there. I used to think that because I was staying up past 2 a.m. editing a video was productive. It wasn't. Like, I have a window of time where my brain is most effective. And I've learned that, you know, being closer to 40.
Yeah.
So
Being intentional with your time.
with everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that. I think it's very important in today's age. I feel like you have had so many different, or you've been involved in so many different creative mediums throughout your life. To name a few, you've been a color editor, color grader, you've been a video editor, photographer, videographer, DJ, filmmaker. The list goes on, right? So what is your favorite part about the space that you're in today versus those other mediums that you've partaken in?
What's my favorite part about this one? Honestly, nothing more than what I was doing with other mediums in the past. It's just now become my full-time job, which is awesome. And I don't really even look at it as a job. It's allowed me to truly do this full-time by betting on it and refining the different parts that I felt like maybe could be a full-time thing eventually. But I mean, even in November of 2022, I was like applying for jobs, you know?
Yeah.
So the outlook of what I make hasn't changed, but I think now I'm just finally reaping the benefits of all of the hard work that I was doing that went not just unrecognized or unnoticed, but just, you know, if I were to calculate how much I had made from 2013 or 2012 when I bought my camera to 2024, I was probably working less than minimum wage.
Wow.
Probably severely less than minimum wage. So now I think that's the only thing that's changed is that I'm finding financial comfort and trying to plan that. I feel like a real adult. You know, I'd see my homies buying houses. I'm like, how y'all do that, man? Y'all are what? 29. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Buying a house. Like, what's an IRA? What's a 401k? Like, I was 31. Like, what the hell is that? Like, I've always had to pay for my health insurance. I mean, dude, like, when I made my first $100,000, I thought all of that was mine.
Oh, you didn't prepare for the taxes?
No.
Oh, no. IRS came for your ass, huh?
Yeah. It took me like 2.5 years to realize that. I was like, oh, I thought you get tax returns.
Tough lesson to learn.
Yeah. I thought that like I didn't know I had to pay that, you know? So I think that's the only difference. But the way I look at creating hasn't changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. What are some things that you not hate but don't like seeing out in the internet world right now?
People doing things because that's what they think they should be doing rather than finding themselves in their own unique voice. I don't hate it. It's just like, I think it's a waste of time for that person. I think it is cool to use things as inspiration to help find yourself, but don't be a chameleon to anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Steph Curry wasn't trying to be a Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? He's a one of one. Christopher Nolan isn't trying to be Wes Anderson. I don't hate it. It's just, I really want people to know you're wasting your time. It takes the same effort to express yourself uniquely than to express yourself mimicking somebody else or something that you think you should be doing because it's working for somebody else.
Right.
There's so many copycats of not me, but like other people out there, like whether it's coffee shop copycats or, you know, it's like yoga brand trying to copy this other yoga brand, or that yoga brand copying the other yoga brand. Like, why do that? You know, high-end luxury brands aren't doing that. Yeah, treat yourself as so.
You got to treat yourself like a brand.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
And follow a certain guideline.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like, Walmart is really good at being Walmart, and there's people who love Walmart. I love Walmart. And there's also people who love Erewhon.
That's true. They're not trying to be Erewhon.
No. Like,
Yeah.
be the best in your vertical.
I love that. What are some things that maybe are pieces of content that didn't go viral, but you're still really proud of?
All of it. Dude, honestly, all of it.
Okay.
But to get more specific, I was posting these series of videos back in 2023 talking about some of the cool things that I've done as a director, and people were way less interested about the things that I've worked on than the personal bits of content and tutorials that I was sharing. I was still doing it. I was still making it. But yeah, I was proud of these videos that I had done as a director. People didn't care, but I still made them. I still put the effort in. Yeah, I'm still proud of these pieces of content or the things that I've directed in the past that maybe nobody cares about, but I'm proud that I did them. When I'm asked the question of what's the video that you're most proud of, it's hard to, and I know that's a different question than what you asked, but when I am asked that, it's hard for me to pinpoint that one because I think it's just a collection, a body of work. I'm most proud of the body of work. I'm proud of the fact that there's so many of it.
Yeah.
And I don't think what creates great art is synonymous to how much you've done, but you can't grow and you can't learn about yourself without doing.
Right.
So because I've made so many things and because I am pretty decently detached from what I've made individually, I can say that my entire collection, the catalog is whether this thing gets 80 million or 80.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I like that perspective.
Yeah.
I can relate to it too. Also being proud of the growth. And I was talking to actually Jansport J, shout out to Jansport J about this. How I used to be almost like embarrassed of my past work and my past episodes.
Oh, I am too though.
I would watch my past interviews and be like, damn, cringing at myself. Like, yo, you were ass. I can't believe you asked that question. I can't believe you said that. But as I've grown, I've realized that these are like catalogs of archiving my growth and seeing where I've gone in the past. So now I actually like it. I'm just like, damn, I used to be like that. Look at how far I'm going and look where I'm at now. And I hope that in like 5 or 10 years, it's the same thing. I hope I'm cringing at myself right now in another 5 to 10 years.
Oh, you will. Absolutely.
I hope so.
Like I said earlier, it's an online scrapbook.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds narcissistic to say, look at me and look at the stuff that I've done. But I mean, honestly, that's kind of like what it is. You know, you want to feel validated in some degree or some way, like so you put it up on the internet and it's there to be criticized, critiqued, and or loved and whatever it is. But I mean, ultimately it comes down to how you look at it, and whether it's cringe or being proud of it, it's all part of it. And you just scroll back to like 3 or 4 years ago and you're just like, damn, bro, did I really say that? Like, I should have said that.
Facts. And also it lives on the internet forever.
Unless
It's
you
not
delete it.
going anywhere. Unless what?
Unless you delete it.
I feel like the level you're at now, people are probably saving your work.
Oh,
and
man,
they'll throw it back in your face. What appeals to you in terms of short form content versus long form content? Because obviously you are at the pinnacle of like short form content. So what is it that appeals to you versus making long form?
My attention span per project, I don't know if it's like the fact that I'm dyslexic or have ADHD or whatever these things that may be looked at as limitations when truly I think they're my superpowers. The fact that I have an attention span of a fucking goldfish. But that's what it comes down to. I don't think I can get myself to commit to making one video per week or one video a month and spending a lot of time on that one thing And I respect that craft. That's just not my craft. Maybe someday I'll want to get good at it. But the reason why I was doing music videos and 2-minute short films and social content for clients was because that's as far as my brain can handle. And that's goes back. Yeah, that's honestly like, it goes back to those are my limitations.
And not trying to be something that you're not.
Yeah, I tried I directed and co-produced an episodic series that was on Netflix, and it was really cool, and that was fun. I experimented. I stepped away that second season, and it went on to win a Golden Globe and an Emmy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, well, not the first season, but the second season, and then the third season. And it's like, I knew that it possibly was my lack of experience, or maybe this wasn't the right fit that was holding that series back. And I just had to understand that, that I gave it a shot, and that's not my voice. And I didn't aspire to be a longer form episodic series director, just because I found out, like, through that, spending 5 days on a 40-minute episode and 2 to 3 weeks of post-production per episode. Oh God, just thinking about it hurts my brain.
It just didn't do it for you.
No, nah. Like, short form videos, I can write 5 of them in a day. One of them might be really cool. The other 4 might suck, or maybe all 5 of them suck, or maybe all 5 of them are cool.
It seems like it comes easy to you too.
It really just comes down to my attention is best maximized on something that's shorter. Like, I can't think really past the 4-minute mark. The only things I really watch past the 4-minute mark is my girlfriend's videos and golf. I'm just like her biggest fan. That's all. Sports highlights. I'll watch like a 12-minute clip.
That's right. You are a big golfer too.
Yeah. Golf and NBA highlights, NFL, any sports highlights. So I watch billiard highlights.
That's Adrian time.
Yeah.
Doing those things.
I religiously eat breakfast and watch golf. And however long it takes me to finish my breakfast, then I'll be done watching.
This is 35.
That's a
35-year-old thing to do right there, brother.
I mean, I done been doing that since I was 31, though. Damn, bro. I've been in my 30s for a long time, man.
Hey, it's all good.
I've been here for a minute.
Well, I think we were at a creator event a couple of weeks ago, and you were kind of debating somebody who was like very bullish on long form content and like YouTube. And it was really interesting watching you two kind of debate each other on it. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on why you think short form content is better for longevity than like YouTube, for example.
I don't think that. I think it's individually for each creator.
Okay.
I think for right now, in that conversation, the variable or the subject at hand was, what's the fastest way to $1 million? If you are making content, if you have a brand new creator here and a brand new creator there, how do you get to that $1 million, short form or long form? I think the short form route is way easier than the long form route. Well, in my opinion, because it's so nimble. You can experiment, you can establish yourself in what you're about and what you represent. You could show your personality in an easier way. Like, at any moment, a TikTok or an Instagram or a YouTube short video can catch fire. And if you build the positioning and the perception of what you stand for, and do people and brands feel like they see a reflection of their brand in you or a reflection of themselves in you through mass uploads of short form content, because it's just easier, whether you're filming yourself on your phone or high quality, it's just so much easier that way. Like,
lower barrier to entry.
Yeah, to make a YouTube video properly, you spend a lot of time, money, and effort, and then a lot of post-production, and you make this catalog. And I will say, because it is a race to $1 million, like, if that's the goal, it's short form. There's so many like snake oil salesmen on short form. And if that's the goal, if financial freedom is your goal, then that's the ticket. But I do think through long form, because the metric here, views and shares, whatever it may be, the metric is still time spent, right?
Yeah.
Why do we like LeBron so much or Kevin Durant? We've watched hella games watching them, right? Why do we like these episodic series actors and actresses so much? We like the guy in The Bear because we've spent a bunch of time. If your metric is time spent, you don't need to make as many YouTube videos if your YouTube videos are long and they're in depth and people are watching the entire time. These YouTube golfers aren't making nearly as many short form content, but they're crushing it. And they have 2-hour long videos, sometimes 4 hours long. But you get 100,000 to 200,000 people watching an hour-long video of you. That time spent is more than 5 million people watching your one short-form video that's 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I think you can build way better longevity and brand building. It'll take you a lot longer. I think the bag there is supersedes just short form. But if we're just talking about, hey, I have a financial goal, I want to hit it, I do think short form is the easier and the faster way to get there.
That's very well said. Yeah, I feel like there are different tools and different mediums for different use cases.
Yeah.
Like DJs, for example, putting a 1 to 2 hour set on YouTube, for example, it's like that is going to get way more traction than possibly them putting a short form video out.
Yeah.
Or just the monetary value that adds. Where do you see short form content headed in the next 5 to 10 years?
Man, I'm not. I feel like I'm just going to throw ideas at the wall. I think it's just, I don't think anything's really going to change other than people who aren't implementing AI into their workflow is going to get left behind.
Because they didn't work fast enough or why?
Yeah, AI is going to, I mean, the people who didn't want to buy a car and stuck with their horses, they got left behind. The companies who were reluctant to keeping their workers as workers and not buying into the machines in the industrial era, they went bankrupt. It's unfortunate. It's inevitable. And if you're not supercharging your efficiency and your creation process with AI, and I'm not saying your work isn't valuable if you're not using it, but that's just the game we're playing in. There's going to be so many more creators who are using AI to supercharge them. And I'm not saying that's my plan. It's just, if you can't beat them, you got to join them. And I'm not saying image generation, let me type in, I want to see a dog, or I want to see a dog running and a monkey is like riding on the dog's back, and let me make a funny video that way. Like, that's not how you use AI. It's like, I have this idea. I want to take my idea from like 0 to 60%. And then from 60 to 90% is how, you add your human touch. And whatever that last 10% is, use AI to get that piece of work in front of the people you want to get it in front of, whether it's marketing execs, whether it's people on LinkedIn, whether it's social media, wherever you may want it. And because this thing knows more than what I know and what you know and what we all know, if you're not using it, I think in the next 5 years, people who are early adopters will be at the top of the food chain. I think at this point, if I were to look at content creation as a competition outside of just myself, I'm going to be competing against robots and people who are better versed at AI as my actual competition in the space.
Yeah, so it's important to realize that and make sure you're honing in on the skills so you're not left behind, right?
Absolutely. And I'm not saying people are so touchy about AI. I am not an advocate for getting around a graphic designer. If you need a proper logo made, I'm not going to say, I was about to say some AI names that can't be in the podcast. You can't just go to an image generator and think it's going to give you a full brand rollout that speaks true to your voice and your passion. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But how do you tell a graphic designer exactly what you're looking for? How do I communicate that better so that I don't spend 6 hours or 6 weeks typing up a brief to the graphic designer who I have to communicate my ideas to as precisely as possible so we don't waste both of our times? I can now do that in 30 minutes.
That's a great use case.
That's how you use AI to supercharge your workflow. And maybe in 2 years from now, it'll be different. I don't know what it is, but I just know 5 years from now, the space is going to be, it's going to be mostly people who are early adopters. And I also think looking 20 years from now, the reason why us old asses, millennials, and even some Gen Zers, on all these boomers too, no, boomers can't even tell what AI is and what isn't AI on Facebook. And honestly,
It's facts.
We like human-made things, human-made creations, because there's a nostalgic factor to it. It makes us feel a human-to-human connection. The reason why we still like going to the movie theaters or, whatever the human-to-human thing is, right? So much of Gen Alpha and Gen Alpha's kids don't know a world outside of screens. So at some point, we're going to be really looked at as like old heads. When people were using carrier pigeons, like we can't even imagine what that was like.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Now we're like FaceTiming people. Like these kids are going to grow up in an AI era. They don't know anything else other than prompting something to exactly what they want. In 5 years, maybe were you part of did you experiment on Midjourney when it first came out?
Mm-mm.
Like the text to image generation, where I was typing in things like Shiba Inu as Mona Lisa, things like that. And it was so fun. And there are some AIs now where kids are typing in a thing that they want to learn, or there's actually some AIs now that I've seen ads for where you can now give it a specific thing or like a language or like a book you want to learn from, and it'll create you a super tailored video to exactly what you want to learn.
Right.
So right now, we're currently looking at YouTube how to fix a flat tire. Right? How to change your flat tire with a spare tire. There's an expert on that who's going to show you how to do it on YouTube. At some point, you're going to be able to type in some sort of AI that you could say, I have a Mercedes-Benz A320 and my back left tire just went flat. I pulled over on the side of the road. How do I fix it? It's going to know exactly what to give you and how to tailor it to you. And you'll be able to watch that shit in your glasses. Because Meta just came out with that too. The Meta displays.
Yeah.
The Meta Ray-Ban displays where it's a heads-up display and you can watch things and you can get captions and you can... It's just... The world is moving crazy fast in a direction.
Yeah, they say we're pretty much not going to have phones anymore. We're just going to all have glasses.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I have Meta Ray-Bans. They're amazing. I don't have the new ones, but like content consumption is going to be half AI.
Yeah.
So much of it already is.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
There's so much you said there, and thank you for unpacking that. I feel like in the next 5 to 10 years, if you don't learn how to properly use AI for whatever field you're in, it's like you said, you are going to get left behind. And it's crazy that we are in that last generation of people who knew. And when I say we, it's like people who are millennials.
Yeah, we value real things, which is why we go to concerts and which is why we still buy those old video cameras because it reminds us of, it's nostalgic to us.
Yeah.
Why we buy vinyls, why we buy CDs. Yeah. we're like one of the last generations to really value that. There's a generation who doesn't give a shit about it. We don't give a shit about carrier pigeons. We don't give a shit about horse carriage.
Yeah.
You know, like we don't care about that. It's not our generation. So some kid in the future who's born today is not going to care about the human element.
It's crazy to think about. We're going to be so far detached from that time in our lives.
Yeah.
Switching gears here, what's your gripe with course gurus? I know you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but I want you to go in on the course gurus right now.
Course gurus are funny, man. It's like the new crypto bro. It's like the new Forex people. It's just funny to me because social media is such a lucrative place to make money. And I think because of the algorithm that I have made, I get a lot of things spewed to me about I don't think students shouldn't be teachers. And there's a lot of students who are trying to teach and sell that for money. And because whether it's me or good friends of mine who are world-renowned whateverists, creatives, they put their content or their educational stuff out there for free. It's just crazy to see some like 22-year-old kid in his condo in Miami who trying to sell you something that he learned on the internet 2 years ago or 2 weeks ago in like $1,000 course. It really is an epidemic on the internet. Like people selling courses to tell you that they make money selling courses. It just disgusts me. Yeah.
It's like the modern day scam for us.
It is. It's an MLM. It's
Yeah.
It's the new Forex, man.
Really is.
It's what was before Forex? Cutco? I think it was Was it Cutco? Or life insurance?
Yes, the life insurance pyramid scheme.
The financial freedom shit. Oh my God, I'm sick of it, bro.
It must be annoying though for you to see that maybe somebody's taking like content that you put out and then repackaging that in their own course
All the time.
and selling it.
All the time, much respect to you and your hustle, but it's weird. It's not for me. The stuff that I put out there, it's to be taken to empower your voice and your storytelling and to just tell better stories overall. It's pretty wild to see not just how much of what I put out there repackaged and sold, but just because it's so lucrative, people in that business for the sole purpose of getting rich quick, they're going to fizzle out. Just like all the people who bought all the Lamborghinis and tried to make the luxury rent-a-car business. Yeah, that was a thing too. Snake oil salesmen. Yeah.
Snake oil salesmen.
Yeah.
What is it? Can you break that down? What is it?
That's just a term. I need to bring this up.
Yeah.
I need to look this up. What is a snake oil salesman?
I have no clue what that is.
Snake oil salesman definition.
Is this a...
So, a snake oil salesman is someone who uses deception to sell fraudulent or ineffective products or services. So that it comes from the 19th century. It's just like very. It's like the car salesman who tries to sell you like the lower tier and like pretends it's like the super high tier car.
Like sleazy business practices. Okay.
Yeah. And it's not that I feel a type of way about it. It's just a shit use of your time. You could be using your time to do something, I don't know, something better with it.
Yeah. Then there's a lot of it out there too, like on TikTok and Instagram and everything of people trying to get one over on you. And something you don't really.
There's a lot of courses that I do value. There's a lot of courses out there that do give a lot of value, but a vast majority of the stuff that's out there is just garbage.
Yeah. It's difficult for consumers to sift through that because they see somebody living a life that or putting things out that isn't really true to them.
They're good marketers.
Yes.
If, these kids tell you that I'm going to help you make 10 grand a month and buy my course for $500, I'll teach you how to make 10 grand a month. Who wouldn't buy that? It's a great sales pitch.
Yeah. And they're little professionals at painting that picture.
Yeah, they get
So
the
they're good at
condo,
too.
they rent the Lambo or the private jet set for like 2-3 hours, and they do their thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
watch out for the scammers. So we're gonna close it out here pretty soon, but I wanted to get into some of your thoughts about where you're gonna be transitioning to next. So that brings me to the point of when do you think that you'll be satisfied in your career if you aren't already?
I'm already satisfied, to be honest. I feel like as a creative, I had done things that I didn't even think was possible when I first started. Like I knew that I had a skill and I knew that I had a talent, and to express that and to be able to express that is a privilege. To be able to do what I'm doing is a privilege. And I feel like I feel like I'm satisfied because mentally I've just corrected a lot of the things that made me do things for the wrong reason. And because I've now shifted not what the goal is, but how I sit and perceive with the things that I've done is, I feel fine. Like if the social media platforms are gone tomorrow, I'd be cool. Like,
Yeah.
And that doesn't come from a place of finances. It comes from a place like, no matter where the things that I create goes, I'm happy doing it.
Yeah.
Whether it's, at pop-ups, or whether that is driving places to exhibit it, or on the internet, I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I think because I understand where my life goals truly lay and what they actually are, which is just being healthy, having time for my friends and the people I love. Like all of this is just such a privilege to do. And I feel very blessed that the thing that I'm passionate about is my job, I guess. I feel lucky. It could have lasted 2 weeks or 2 years or 20 years. Like the fact that I got to do it is cool enough for me. If at any point I need to apply for jobs, I'll go do that.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be here, man. In all honesty, yeah.
I love that. Do you think that you ever expected yourself to be in this place, or have you exceeded your expectations at this point?
At a young age, I knew that I was destined I knew I was destined to be great at expressing myself. That is the one thing it was my deficit and downfall in school, but also my superpower in what I do now. And if it wasn't that, I would have figured something else out, sure. But I always knew. But also at the same time, I'm surprised at how I express that, the medium that it's landed on, right? It could have been music.
Yeah.
It could have been production. It could have been an editor. It could have been any of these things that I threw at the dartboard. But now it just so happens to be making videos that are social first. It might not be that 5 years from now. It might not be it 10 years from now. I might be the teacher. That might be the thing that I love most. Or I might make a feature film. But in terms of satisfaction, it's like, there's nothing more that I really truly want. It's just I adapt with what's feeding me and what's giving me and feeding to what gives me happiness versus what I think would make me happy.
That's a beautiful place to be in. Everything seems like it's pure exploration right now. And
that's what happens when you get old, man. You realize you really ain't got nobody to impress. You realize that all these people that you were trying to impress don't even know you and you don't know them, So why spend all that time trying to be validated by people who don't know you or don't like you when you could just spend that time validating the things and doing the things that you truly enjoy yourself and I I don't think it's self-serving necessarily, but I really am just serving my creative and artistic expression in doing so. You can't go wrong, honestly.
Yeah. Very well said. With that in mind, do you ever foresee a point in your life where you're going to walk away from what you're doing for your career?
Walk away? Nah, I don't think so. I'm always going to make things, but if at any point people ask, what happened to that guy, OMG Adrian, did he fall off? Yeah, I did. And that's okay. like I think musicians get a bad rap of, damn, what happened to such and such? They fell off. Like, bruh, nah, he's just happy and successful and he got a family. He's getting older. Like, he can't rap about, fucking other people's girlfriends his whole life. You know what I mean? Like, that shit ain't cool at 45. So that's literally what most of rap is about.
Yeah.
Rappers are obsessed with hooking up with other dudes' girlfriends. It's like, I'm tired. I'm fucking tired of that. You can't expect them to continue making music about that forever.
Because you evolve to a different level where that's no longer a life you're living. So why are you going to continue to put that art out?
Yeah, it's like they didn't fall off. They just matured.
Yeah.
I aspire to mature to be like, maybe I don't need to make so many videos, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's fair. When it's all said and done, what do you want people to feel about what you've done?
Great question. Let me think about this. When it's all said and done, and I hope I'm not speaking from a place of my ego, but if there's one thing that I'd want people to have felt through watching my videos is anybody who has found it helpful or helped their day, it's like anybody who remembers that video in any capacity, anybody who thinks that video made them smile or laugh or happier or help them with their craft, because I think I probably scrolled through social media a total of maybe like even 45 minutes in total already today. I can't tell you one thing that stuck out to me. So anybody that remembers my video for whatever reason it made them feel, I'm happy with that.
That
because
itself is the payoff.
It is like so hard to be remembered when there's so much awesome and funny and good shit on the internet. For anybody to remember that I was on their feed through the doom scroll, that already means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that, man. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you for sharing such intimate and vulnerable parts of the way you think in this episode today.
Just wanted to say that. Can we just give a quick round of applause for Adrian Per?
Thank you. Thank you.
So, yeah, I think that what you've done in the past 4 to 5 years is a testament to all the work that you've done. And I'm so excited to see what's to come next.
Yeah.
And the state of mind that you're in right now, it tells me that it's going to be something very special. So thank you.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure to be here.